Hey there, welcome back to the channel, A Day with Roger. If you're new here, my name's Roger, and what I post is things that I do day to day. In this episode, we're going to be driving across the country. This is going to take longer than a day, and it should be a pretty fun based upon the fact that we're going to see a lot of the country. There's going to be several legs of this trip. We're going to talk a little bit about the interstate system. We're going to be driving from Southwest Florida to Southwest Oregon. Now this is sort of a diagonal to the panhandle, and all of the interstate systems are designed to go north and south and east and west. They don't really cross. There's not very many that are on an angle. There are some, but it's not the way they really laid everything out because of the way the grid pattern works. So our goal is to drive from Southwest Florida to Southwest Oregon, and we're going to try to spend the least amount of time on interstates going north and south, and the most amount of time traveling across on a diagonal the best that we can through the country. Now there's going to be three legs to this cross-country route. The first leg is going to be to the Panhandle, where day one I'll drive from Southwest Florida up to Freeport, Florida in the Panhandle, and I'm going to be staying there with a friend, and that'll be day one. I might stay a full day there to just visit and then leave the following morning. Depends upon their work schedule. I try to leave on a weekend so that they don't have to work. But and then the second leg will be from Freeport, Florida to Cleveland, Oklahoma, which will be just an hour west of Tulsa. Now that's going to take about 2 days to drive that. I used to be able to drive across the country in 5 days, covering about 800 miles a day, and I only like to drive about 400 miles now. I take my time. I've got no rush. I enjoy the trip, and I do a little sightseeing along the way, especially western part of the country. It's so beautiful. So back again to the fact that it'll take me 2 days to travel this distance. I'll stay somewhere in Texarkana or Arkansas somewhere, or this depends on the road that I end up taking. And I try to vary my route so that it makes it more entertaining. Although sometimes you're going to be on the same roads because that's what's going to happen, especially out when you get into Eastern Oregon. There's only so many options. Anyways, I'll be staying in Cleveland for a day, maybe two, maybe three. So an old friend. We've been friends for almost 40 years, and we like to chat about things, and he's a motorcycle enthusiast. Very interesting guy. Then from there to drive all the way to Southwest Oregon. First day to get out of Oklahoma, second day to get into the Badlands of Nevada, third day to get up through to Lakeview or Winnemucca or somewhere around there, and then the final day to come into Southwest Oregon at a reasonable time of day, maybe 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and that's if everything goes as planned. Stay tuned. It's going to be an interesting trip. Hopefully I'll get some great shots as I go across the country, share the trip with you, and you guys follow along, and hopefully it'll inspire you to travel across the country as well. So let's get rolling. All right, well, the first thing that you might be interested in knowing about is, what are we going to drive across the country? What kind of vehicle? How are we going to stay? What are their accommodations? So on and so forth. So the first thing is we are going to be driving this 2017 Chevy Silverado. It's got about 130,000 miles on it. It's got a Duramax diesel in it. I hope to drive this vehicle 300,000 or 400,000 or 500,000 miles, so take good care of it. The second thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be pulling this 14-foot V-nose trailer that actually has a double axle on it. Now this trailer is really great to pull behind that truck. Double axles on it, so it rides really well. It pulls, because of the V-nose, it pulls along behind a heavy truck like that with no problems whatsoever. Camp out when we're in the BLM land, Bureau of Land Management, out in the western part of the country. We'll boondock. We just pull in on a forest road or national park road There's lots of places to boondock. You just pull over, and then when I come back, it's kind of the same thing. There's not a whole lot of traffic out there, and at the time that I'm going to be going across in April, it'll be chilly, but there won't be a lot. You know, school's not out, people aren't traveling, they're not on vacation. It's not summertime yet. And then when I come back, it's kind of the same thing. Well, today's the day. We left Southwest Florida at 8 a.m. It's a beautiful sunny day, typical for Florida. And we drove up I-75 until we got north of Tampa. And then there was an accident on the road ahead, and the traffic came to a stop, and I was right at an off-ramp. So I got off and took a shortcut over to Homosassa Springs and then to Crystal River, and now I'm on Highway 19. So up until now I've been on I-75, and now I'm over on 19, and I'm headed for Perry, Florida, which will get me back to I-10, and my first stop of the trip will be Freeport. It's Freeport in the Panhandle. I'll be staying with a friend there, and it's going to be Easter tomorrow, so we're going to hang out and cook some Easter dinner, and I'll be back on the road the following day. So here we go. We're just moving down the road, and I'm in the cute little town of Crystal River right now, and never been here before. It's a typical little town across the United States. They're very familiar. You know, they got all their little strip malls and regular businesses. The Crystal River, of course, is unique, and it has a beautiful spring-fed river that you can camp out and do a lazy river float and all the other things. Lots of boats around here, lots of air boats, you know, typical Florida. So there's Ann, and roll on down the road. I don't know how well you can see out this windshield, but this is Highway 19 on the west side of Florida. And this road, although it's 4 lanes, there's a state trooper. Well, that state trooper pulled out right when I was going by and gave me a little bit of a scare that he's going to follow me, but he's after something else. Anyways, this is very typical highway across the United States. It was built before the interstate system was built, and it's a 4-lane road, and it's probably expanded over the years as traffic was required to increase. But in any event, well, there's a state trooper. He is pulling over the man that was in front of me, or the man or the woman or the person, and they're probably not going to have a good day now. Anyways, I just wanted to take a shot of this to give you an idea of what a lot of these 4-lane roads that I travel across the country on. As I mentioned, or maybe have mentioned before, I try to stay off the interstates. I like these 4-lane roads. The speed limit is 65. You make good time. It's less dangerous than the interstate, and yeah, it's more scenic. You get stop through some small towns and see some different names, and get a feel for what America really is like in the small town of rural America as you drive across. As I mentioned, these highways and byways, small towns, if you've ever been to any of these, I really appreciate a comment in the comment section, just naming the town or the highway that you've been to. If you've ever been to Crystal River, or if you've ever been to Homosassa Springs, or Perry, Florida, or all the rest that I'm going to mention, and I'm going to mention a lot of names as we go along. If you've ever been to any of these places, leave a comment down below. Just the town, the highway, any other comment you want to leave, of course, is always appreciated. I do read all the comments, believe it or not, and I look forward to yours. So thanks a lot, and keep rolling down this road. So we made it to I-10, off of 19 in Florida. We're still in Florida. We're in the Panhandle, and we're going to make it down to Freeport, Florida, and we're going to stay at our friend's place tonight. Today is day 2 of the road, and we made it to Freeport, Florida on day 1 from Southwest Florida, and we stayed with a friend. And when I say we I mean Ann and I stayed with a friend and spent a day resting up after the first day on the road. So this is day 3 of the road trip, but actually day 2 on the road. So we are currently on US 331 running north out of Freeport in the Florida Panhandle. The next stop, like I say, is our next destination is Cleveland, Oklahoma, and halfway between there, which is about 900 miles away. So halfway, I'm looking for a spot that's about 400 miles in distance. It's all I like to drive anymore. I used to drive 600-800 miles at a time, but now 400 is all I really want to drive in the course of a day. And the next stop for today, or a goal for today, a little bouncy on the road there, a little goal for today would be somewhere near Monroe, Louisiana, just shy of Shreveport, Mississippi River, so on. I'll just drive along as far as I want, and I'd like to get to Cleveland in 2 days, and if I don't, that's okay. At this point, wherever I stop, if I find a nice place to camp or a good rest area, or I like to go and park in churches as well. They're usually left alone if it's not a Sunday or a Wednesday, or when they might have Bible study. You can pretty much stop in a church parking lot. You're safe and good spot to stop. Anyways, to my next point, from the Panhandle of Florida to Southwest Oregon is basically west-northwest. So you drive more west than you drive north. So generally I want to be on a road that's going west or north or northwest. You don't want to drive too much north. You need to spend more time driving west than you drive north, but that's pretty much as a crow fly, be a west-northwest tangent bearing. Anyways, that's what the plan is for today, and I'll keep you posted. The dog's laying down. She's going to be up and about, and we try to stop about every hour, give myself a break from the road, and give her a chance to stretch her legs as well. And we're in a beautiful area right now, a lot of live oak and Panhandle of Florida. This is a 2-lane road, and as I've mentioned before, I'm not really enthusiastic, if you will, about driving on the interstate. The interstates are high speed, they're dangerous, have a lot of big trucks, a lot of distracted drivers, a lot of impatient drivers. So if at all possible, I try to make my way along on secondary highways, highways that were built before the interstate system. If they're 4 lanes, that's really great. 2 lanes, obviously is not as, so 2 lanes are not as desirable. But if I'm on a 2-lane road going 60 miles an hour with the speed limit, I'd much rather prefer that than being on the interstate in a general statement. So we'll follow me around and we'll keep you posted, and that's all for now. One of the things I'm going to try to do in this video is capture all the welcome to state signs as I cross the country. I'm in Paxton, Florida right now, and I'm about to cross into Alabama, which will be my first state under the belt. What do you think of that? Well, we're going to see if I can make that happen through the windshield, or if I'll actually have to stop and take a selfie or something. So hang on. I'm not sure if this is going to capture, but we are leaving the state of Florida right there. This is very typical to the roads that I like to drive, although after a few hours of it, you're ready for an interstate. Mile after mile after mile of rolling hills in northeast Alabama. So I don't have to say much about this. There's the Mississippi state line. I'm passing out of Alabama into Mississippi, 2 states down, a whole bunch more to go. So stay tuned. So we are in Vicksburg, and there is the Mississippi River, and we're crossing here from Vicksburg Mississippi into Louisiana, I believe. So that'll be coming right up here. But of course, crossing there we are, Louisiana state line. Crossing crossing the Mississippi is always a monumental thing, in my opinion. It's a big divide and such history with it, and it makes you think a lot about people that were here 100, 200, even 300 years ago. Especially the people that traveled across the country to go to Oregon on the Oregon Trail, who would have left in April, May, and hopefully got there before November, took all summer. Now it takes 5-6 days on the road. There's a sign for Welcome to Louisiana. We're on I-20 going west, and we're going to go past Shreveport and then head to the north to get to Cleveland, Oklahoma, which is, like I said earlier, about an hour west of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Anyhow, we'll carry on. Stand by. So it's day 3 on the road. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, and I can't sleep any longer. And we have gone 1,103 miles in 2 days. So we're doing pretty good. Today, we hope to make it to Cleveland, Oklahoma. Like another 430 miles. And hang out there for a few days. So, just give you a start here. Day number 3 on the road. Well, it's now 6:45 a.m. and it was pretty cold last night. I think it was 49 degrees. So Dan and I bundled up together and snuggled and stayed warm. And there's a dog, of course. Anyways, we went through Shreveport, Louisiana a few minutes ago, and we're in an area called Greenwood. We should be coming up to the Texas state line. We'll be a short time in northeast Texas, and we'll head over to a town towards Marshall, and then from Marshall we'll turn north and then be in southwest Oklahoma, and we'll do the final leg into my friend's David house in Cleveland, Oklahoma. So yeah, just stand by here and hopefully we'll be able to catch the Welcome to Texas sign. Should be getting pretty close. Some of these state lines are pretty mundane, and some of them are pretty exciting, like when you cross the Mississippi River. Hopefully we'll get a sign, Welcome to Oklahoma. We'll be on a back road, and there's not always signs on those back roads when you enter the area or enter the state. But we'll see what happens. Here we're coming up to this Texas rest area and travel center. So, and there's a sign there I hope this camera picks that up. I'm using a DJI Pocket Pro 3. I have not used this camera until I started this trip. So we made it to Oklahoma, another state under the belt. We're heading to Cleveland, Oklahoma, about an hour west of Tulsa. So this is the start of day 4 on the road. We are in Cleveland, Oklahoma, and we're headed west now. So far, the tripometer shows 1,576.1 miles. So in 3 days of driving, we accomplished about 500 miles a day, which is a lot. In the meantime, we're getting rolling, and day 4 on the road and heading west. We'll drive Oklahoma all day today. Take all day to get out of here. We're going to be in the Panhandle. Sun's just coming up. Had some coffee, but no breakfast yet. And it'll take all day to get out of Oklahoma, like I said. And we'll find out where we're going to spend the night tonight. So stand by, stay tuned. We're on the road. Hey, so we're making progress. We are in central Oklahoma, more or less, and we are starting to see some change in the geographical and geological structures of the country. From Florida to here, it's pretty mundane. It's pretty. There's a lot of forests and whatnot, but we're starting to get some geological formations. And here we are at Gloss Mountain State Park, and in the background you can kind of see it's an interesting place of very, very flat to these mesas that are starting to form. And there's a hike that goes from the bottom all the way to the top. It's kind of cool. It's got some steps, and they're steel, and a pretty cool place. So we're gonna do maybe a little drone flying. We might go on the little hike, and I'll record it for you. So stand by. I took a little drone video of the trail up the top and back, and I hope it turned out. Well, I did a much shorter drone flight than I expected for 2 reasons. There were people there, and there were several groups hiking up the trail, and I don't like flying my drone when there's people around. I don't like to disturb them, and I don't want them to think I'm spying on them or what have you. If I'm going to fly my drone, I really want to be in isolation, and just in respect for other people's space as well. And the drone's kind of like, it's got that buzzing sound in the air. And anyways, I didn't fly very long, and I didn't get very close to where I wanted to go. And the second reason was that I have 3 batteries for my drone, and all of them were discharged. I had fully charged them maybe a month ago, and they had sat for that month, and hopefully that cycle of fully charged drone or fully charged batteries and letting them left, they discharge on their own, and then you can't really get a good charge back on them, full charge again. So hopefully I'll be able to cycle them all through with a full charge to a discharge and get back their memory to be able to go through the full cycle. We'll see how that works out. I've got them all on charge now, and hopefully today or tomorrow I'll be able to find a nice camping spot and do some drone flying. And then when I get to some interesting spots, the drone will perform as hoped. Anyways, we're back on the road. Hang in there, stand by. We're just traveling west now in central Oklahoma, I would say. And the geography starting to change, landscape starting to change, geology starting to change. And this is when the drive across the country really starts to get interesting as you get closer to Colorado and the Rockies, and change of elevation and change of landscape. Again, stand by and I'll update you here shortly. Well, I guess there's not much to say. It's pretty obvious, and it is really beautiful out here in this back country. We got another state under the belt. Day 4 on the road. New Mexico's next. And then in Texas it rains. And it rains. Then it started to hail. Yeah, that was great. Big hail. Real nice for the truck. There it is, another state entering New Mexico, leaving Texas. Colorado's next. Well, I'm not sure you can see that, but it's day 4 and the odometer has reached 2,210 miles. We've been on the road for a while. We're currently in Carson National Forest, and Ann's been doing a really good job of traveling, but she is about to see snow for the first time, because outside it is snowing and there's snow on the ground. So Ann's going to see snow for the first time, so here we go. All right, Ann, come on. Check out the snow. Ooh, what is this stuff? Come on, Ann. Come on. Come on. Come on. Ann, come on. Come on. Aha! So a Florida dog sees snow, and it's pretty good snow. Snowball snow. Let's see if we can make a snowball for Ann. Oh yeah, good coverage here. Nice and wet and sticky. Ann. Hey. Well, she's testing it out. Well, she's eating snow. It's going to be muddy getting back in the truck. This road is a mess. But this is a really cool shelter. Is it open? Oh wow. What a nice little camp spot. Look at that, that's gorgeous. Nice fire pit with a stone wall to reflect the heat into it. What a great idea. Well done. All right, so we're in Carson National Forest, snowing, and we're gonna get back on the road. It's just absolutely gorgeous out here. So I just passed into the New Mexico line at the Arizona line at the Colorado line. So basically the place known as Four Corners, I just went through it. It was pretty unexciting. There was a monument, but I did not stop for it. And yeah, so I guess I'm in Utah right now, or maybe I'm in Arizona. I'm not quite sure. I have to look at a map a little closer, but the place known as Four Corners in the United States is just back there, and I went through it. Well, good morning. It's day 6 of the road, and we've made it to Utah. We stayed near Lake Powell last night and the dam and a Walmart parking lot, and there was a lot of other people there that were RVing that were in the parking lot. But anyways, we're in Utah, so we got Utah, Nevada, tip of California on the way to Oregon when you go down 199, and Oregon itself. So we're entering our 4th to last state, and we've got 3 more to go, and it's about 1,100 miles. So a lot of driving, and the sky is completely lit up with stars out here in the middle of nowhere, and it's a really cool morning. Sorry I didn't see the sights of Lake Powell this morning. It was still dark. It's like 5 a.m. But we like to get an early start. That way we can stop whenever we want. All right, well, stay tuned. I passed up a lot of scenic overviews and didn't stop. This one's right here, easy to get to, and well, it looks like it's well worth it. So I'm going to give you a hand view here of it. Pretty chilly up here. It's only like 38 degrees, but it's a nice day. Beautiful view. Water's crystal clear. To come out of the mountains here, been going downhill for about 12 miles. This is a pretty cool place, and there's a lot of cool places as you drive across the country on these 2-lane roads. But, this one makes me think of a Western movie. More 8% grade. And they aren't kidding. Mid-morning, day 6. We're leaving Utah and we're heading into Nevada. So it's a little later in the day, and I'm in between Ely, Nevada and Eureka, Nevada. And it's snowing, and the snow's sticking to the ground, and there was slush in the middle of the road about a mile back. But yeah, so April 12th, and going through Nevada, you can expect some snow. We'll see what the rest of the West brings, and we'll see if how much snow is in the Cascades. The radar is pretty active, so we'll just play it by ear and see what happens next. Drive safely. The snow event continues. We are at the top of a 7,000 foot summit pass. The road climbed for quite a ways, and we're going back down here in a minute. But it's probably snowing up here because we're above 6,000 feet, and I have a snowy parking lot that I'm going to take Ann out into, and we're going to go experiment. She's yawning now, but she's not going to be yawning for long. You know, we'll walk around here a little bit and see what Ann thinks of snow. So far, so good. It's a winter wonderland. And, Yeah, kind of cool. Sure is different for a Florida boy and a Florida dog. 40 years in Florida, and it's been a long time since I walked in snow. So here, let's see what we got up here on our notification sign. Apparently well known for mule deer, and I have seen some of them. Pretty good sized deer. Anyways, okay, so man's getting a little frisky. All right, we got the snow in the front of the truck, and we're done with this experiment. Stay tuned. So it's day 7 on the road, and we stayed in Battle Mountain last night, and we drove to Winnemucca, and now we're on the way to Lakeview, Oregon. But we stopped at one of my favorite places to stop, and that's at the hot springs. So we're going to get inside. We're going to get in the hot springs and really enjoy it. Stand by. The air temperature is 32 degrees, and the water is, it's hard to tell. It's bath water. It's 100 something, 105, 110, maybe 120. I don't think it's 120, but it's warm when you get in it, and it's really pleasant. And we're going to spend some time here. And he keeps barking. He does not. She's not too crazy about me being in the hot springs. I'll see if I get her in here. I don't know if I want to deal with that wet dog at 32 degrees temperature. But we're just definitely going to hang out here for a while. A couple hours at least. And maybe all day. Maybe we'll just take the whole day and hang out and camp for a change. But I'm really looking forward to getting to the cabin and having a nice bed to sleep in. Anyways, we'll carry on. Stay tuned. Well, we made it to the last state. We got one more state to cross, and I'm way out in eastern Oregon, just coming out of Nevada. And I'm going to give you a quick turn around here. I don't know if you can see it, but we're in the, there's nothing out here. Nothing. There's a Nevada sign, and it goes on and on and on. All right, well, stay tuned. We're on Highway 140, and we've come to one of the scariest sections of road across the entire country. We call it the hill from hell, but it goes down for 4 miles at 8% grade, and they basically just cut the mesa face. They just cut with bulldozers an edge that goes from all the way up here all the way down there in one run, and it goes in and out as you go down the hill, as it follows the contour of the face of the mesa. But the first time that I ever did this road, I went down at 15 miles an hour, and I'll probably do the same today. So I've decided to tape it as I go down this hill, and there are no guardrails, and it's over the edge. It's thousands of feet I don't know how high it is, but at the top there's a hang gliding start point parking lot, and I guess with all that flat land out there, probably throws a lot of thermals, and the guys hang glide off the top of this thing. But the 35 mile an hour, I'm going 30, you know, pulling in a trailer. But it's more about the fact that, well, it'd be easy to be scared of heights along here, and it does go in and out as you follow the contours of the mountain that they cut out. It must have been a crazy project. Bulldozers just pushing dirt for a long time. Rock. That's a scary one. The other thing that's amazing about this particular section of road is how long you go downhill for. It's 3 miles at least of downhill. I went down this hill once when there was ice. It was covered with ice, and I think that time I went down at about 5 miles an hour. It also gives you a great vantage point to see how far out and flat and vast the landscape is. Alright, so we're coming down to the bottom of it, and I'm going to try to stop and take a picture of it going back up. Well, here's a shot from below of the hill from hell, and you can see the discharge from when they just bulldoze the edge of it. And there's a car going up there. Not sure we're going to get to see it, but it'll give you some scale of how big this cut is, where they just cut the side of the mountain and they put the road up to the top. It doesn't seem that big from down here, but when you're on it, it sure looks like it's a long way down. And there's that white car up there turning the corner. Well, another day is going to wrap up today on the road. I'm going to take a break and enjoy the Fremont National Forest. It's a beautiful ponderosa pine forest between Klamath Falls and Medford. So I'll give you a little tour of the area. So this gives you an idea what this forest looks like. The trees are beautifully spaced out, ponderosa pines, sunlight filtering through them. It's late in the day, I think it's about 5. And I just drove in on this fire road a couple of miles and pulled off into this spot here. And yeah, it's just nowhere in particular. Anne's running around. She's having a good time. She likes the open space and being off the leash and chasing pine cones, and she's just a happy dog. She's happy to be out of the truck after all those days across the country. All right, stay tuned for more of Anne. Well, we made it. The sun's just about come up. We parked at a turnout along the Pacific, and the sun's coming up. We're right here in the sand dunes, and we're going to walk out and see the Pacific from all the way from Florida. And Anne's going to run the beach for the first time. She's the first time she's going to see the Pacific, and it should be fun to watch, so stay tuned. All right, there goes Anne. She's pretty excited. Up over these dunes, we'll see the Pacific Ocean. There she goes. And there it is. 3,800 miles later. Cape Sebastian. It's the Pistol River Flat area between Gold Beach and Brookings. Sunrise starting to happen over here to the east, all the way around to Crooks Point, which is to the south of this beach. Crab boats offshore, bright lights on the deck. Actually 4 of them out there. Yeah, Anne's loving it. Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. What do you think, Anne? What do you think of the Pacific Ocean? Let's go. Oh, and her feet get wet for the first time in the Pacific. Well, it's time to wrap up this episode. The tripometer says 3,892 miles from Southwest Florida to Southwest Oregon on the route that I took. I encourage you to get out and see this great country. Travel from east to west, north to south. There's so many beautiful places. It'd take you years to see it all. But I encourage you to get out there and start an adventure. Go for a ride, see some countryside, and take some pictures. Thanks a lot for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.